class is in session. We've got some Strixhaven drafts in the queue now, and yeah, let's just jump right in. Been doing a lot of sealed to this format, but draft seems pretty interesting. Got a lot of new mechanics, a lot of new abilities, but the cards once again have a lot of freaking text on them, so might not be able to go over every single card. I will just poke over my favorites. Let's start off with the fact that every pack has one of these cards. I think they're called Mystical Archives. They are not legal in Standard, but they are legal in the Limited format. If you'll recall, Electrolyte is a pretty darn good card. What I'm going to take here in this pack is the Igneous Inspiration. That's another new card with a new ability. It's a sorcery, deals 3 damage to any target, but it has this ability called Learn. And if you don't know what Learn is, it is a very, very powerful mechanic. We'll go over it real quick before I make my next pick here. But you may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand, and this refers to your sideboard in this instance. Or you can discard a card to draw a card. So the Learn cards are built-in 2-for-1s a lot of the time. Or if you don't have any other quote-unquote lessons, then you're able to discard a card to draw a card if you would want to. So for example here, you know, a card like Spirit Summoning, 3 mana, make a 3/2, is not very exciting. But when you have it in your sideboard and you're able to effectively tutor for it with any card that has Learn, well then you can see how much better it gets. Anyways, in this pack, our rare is not very good. Pretty slow card overall, but if I do end up in blue-red, it has some nice potential. Closing Statement, a solid removal spell. There is another green removal spell here in the form of a Fight. I haven't had a good chance to try this card out. It seems slow, but I'm going to try taking it. There are a couple of these modal cards in this format. This one, you can pay 3 instead of paying the cost, or you can pay the cost for a different effect. But yeah, this one is, if you pay 3 mana, you get to draw 3 cards, but then you give your opponent a huge boon. You get to give them 2 treasures and you scry 2. But then if you pay the X cost instead, you can just draw that many cards. So for 5 mana, you can draw 2 cards, 6 mana, 3, so on and so forth. So I think that's worth a shot, as we have a couple pretty strong uncommons here in the form of Quandrix Apprentice. This just goes through your deck so quickly, and the fact that it stacks your deck in any order means you know, if you're willing to take the time, you can reorder your deck as you please. Quintorius, a very, very strong Boros card. I think it's called Lorehold now instead. Bury in Books, another strong combat trick, or rather removal spell. I'm going to go ahead and just take the Quandrix Pledge Mage here. This is a card I've had really good success with so far. This is a hybrid card. It's in the Quandrix colors, which is blue-green. I'm going to keep calling things by their Ravnica names, so this is going to be Simic for me. But anyways, it's a 2/2 for 3 that whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, you put a 1/1 counter on it. So pretty good. In this pack here, we have a really easy Heated Debate. 1 red, 2 colors, instant, can't be countered, deals 4 damage to a creature or player. The thing about this format is it's really easy to overload on 3-drops. As you can see here, I'm going to take my 4th 3-drop at the moment, but this is just a fantastic start, so I don't mind doing that here. As we get a 5th pick, like potentially a Tome Shredder. Not too shabby in the blue-red deck, not too shabby in the red-white deck. Lots of synergies with exiling a card from your graveyard, so not a bad one. Another lesson here, Introduction to Annihilation. I could just take that if I wanted to. So this doesn't read like a very good card in general, right? 5 mana, exile a non-land permanent, its controller draws a card. That's pretty weak removal. But the fact that, again, if you have the lesson cards to just randomly tutor for it, you know, it gives you a toolbox of selection, toolbox of cards that you can choose from should you take the lessons. I'm going to go with the Tome Shredder here and kind of just keep cutting off the red, but we'll see where we end up from there. Okay, I'm going to take a Curate here instead of Introduction to Prophecy, another lesson. This is another lesson as well, but we want to, or rather, I want to change up the curve a little bit if I can, as you can see, I'm already, I have 6 3 drops already, and all of them are pretty solid. So let's take the Pledge Mage here. It's a 2/2 first striker, Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant, this one gets +1/+0 until end of turn, so another decent creature. I mean, I guess I'm not casting Mastery for 3. This is probably more like a, well, hopefully minimum a 5-drop, right? Draw 2. But pretty unique format. Obviously, you kind of want to align in one of the colleges, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing that you can do in this format, of course. Any signpost cards in this pack? Not really. Spiteful Squad is okay. Relic Sloth is like okay. Gonna take the Campus Guide here. It's a fine 2-drop in a pinch, especially for curve purposes, and if you need to find a land, well, then you can do so. Okay, I'm gonna take the Waterfall Aerialist here. Nice. Hard to deal with flyer. I say hard to deal with because another one of the new abilities is called Ward. It's like a pseudo hexproof of sorts. So if your opponent tries to target a creature with Ward, that whatever they do, spell or ability, is countered unless they pay the Ward cost. So this one is specifically 2 colorless mana for the Ward. So you know, if the opponent has a Shock, for example, they would have to pay 3 mana for the Shock to resolve on the Aerialist. Notably, Heated Debate, since it reads can't be countered, if you Heated Debate a Ward creature, you do not have to pay the Ward cost because, well, it can't be countered. Anyways. Okay, I was actually hoping for the Symmetry Sage to wheel. I've had some good success with this card as well. It doesn't look like much, but in the blue-red deck, you can often just turn this into a 1-mana 2/2 flyer, which obviously a very, very good deal. All of the campuses have a land card that enters tapped and can scry, so they're usually pretty decent pickups, but I don't mind taking the Sage there. Okay, here's another Learn card. This one is a Pump Effect. Not ideal for us, since again, we don't really want to overload on 3s, but if I get enough good, what do you call them, lessons, then that could definitely be a play. Okay, Augier Battleseer, not crazy, not great, but playable for sure. And some last few pick whatevers. I'm a big fan of, I think, Prismari. Prismari's blue-red in this format. I have to say I don't like all of the name changes, but I can understand why. Flavor-wise, they did it, but I'm always going to call stuff by their old names. Or at least I'm going to want to call stuff by their old names, but the blue-red is Prismari, / is it, whatever you want to call it. So beyond that, oh, we opened a Planeswalker. This is Rowan, Scholar of Sparks, and Will, Scholar of Frost. Conveniently, I am blue-red, so what does this one do? Rowan is 2 loyalty for 3, deals 1 damage to each opponent. If you draw 3 or more cards this turn, she deals 3 damage to each opponent instead. And you get an emblem with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you may pay 2. If you do, copy that spell. Okay. Will, on the other hand, is 5 mana for 4 loyalty. Up to 1 target creature has base power and toughness. 0/2 until end of turn. -3 is draw 2 cards. -7 is exile up to 5 target permanents. For each permanent exile this way, its controller creates a 4/4 blue and red token. So, I mean, we're just going to take the Planeswalker, obviously. I've actually never played with or against this, but Planeswalkers in Limited are pretty busted. So, oh, speaking of pretty busted, this is one of the best uncommons in the set, in my opinion. Rutha, Mercurial Artist. This is like the signpost uncommon of this particular color pair, and it's just so good. 3 mana for a 1/4. You can pay 2, return Ruther to your hand, and copy an instant or sorcery spell, being able to choose new targets. So this card, if it's left unchecked, will just take over the game every single time. Okay. Not a great pack here. I guess I might want to just take the Fractal Summoning as like our first good lesson. I'm not a huge fan of Stormkiln Artist. I don't think it's particularly useful. There's always some high hopes with this card, but it's not very good. The only other option here for us is like the pop quiz, but again, I don't really have any good lessons yet, and I'm already overloaded on 3, so we'll take the fractal summoning for the board. Wow, another really solid pack here for us after that stinker of a last pack. Academic Dispute is fantastic. People often underrate this, but it's a 1-mana learn card, so it's already good on by itself, as you know, you can go for 1 mana, find a bevy of tricks should you have taken the learn, lessons. But then you can also just eat a creature with it, and it's a cheap enabler. That being said, I think I probably just take another Heated Debate here. I mean, card's fantastic, and you know I already have Rutha and whatnot, so hard to pass that up. Another really good card, Environmental Sciences. This has got to be one of the better lessons for sure. 2 colorless, search the library for a basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle, gain 2 life. So that's nice to be able to learn that. And I think Test of Talents is also quite solid, but I'm just going to take another Heated Debate. Okay, Negate is another really solid card in this format. Heavily dominated by non-creature spells, I would say, and so I think Negate's a good one. Either that or Reject. I mean, I guess I have a lot of creature removal already that the Negate's probably just better than Reject. Okay. Not too much here for us. I don't think Strategic Planning is all that spectacular unless you have like a Mizzix's Mastery, but it's probably good enough here as we can dig for like Rowan or dig for Rutha. Expanded Anatomy, another decent lesson, but we'll go ahead and take the Planning. Here's a nice pack. We'll take the Elemental Masterpiece here. These cards have been surprisingly impressive for me. There are a few like 7-mana instants and sorceries in Blue-Red that you can pay 2 to discard them and make a treasure, but then they're also just very strong later in the game, so happy to take that there. Right now I'm a little bit tempted to cut like the lower hold Pledge Mage, as I think it is certainly worse than the Quandrix. Oh, okay, another Elemental Masterpiece here. Another really good common, I think, in this format that we're seeing late is this Blood Researcher. 3 mana for a 2/2 menace. Whenever you gain a life, put a 1/1 counter on it. And in black-green, which is... oh, gosh. What is black-green? I don't even remember the black-green. Anyways, in black-green, in Golgari, whatever the new name for it is. Witherbloom? Witherbloom, that's what it is. It's pretty solid. All right, I think I just need to take this Barog Befuddler here. Like, teach by example is cute, but I mean, I already have the Rutha. I think this is just better for some early game stabilization. Okay, we wield a lot of these cards, but not looking too good, honestly. Pop Quiz. Guess that's better than Infuriate. And last few pickups, doesn't look like we're going to get anything much here. So I think the card that I'm missing out the most on is there's a 2-mana... Oh wow, we're wheeling the Dispute somehow. That's nuts. There's a 2-mana 3/3 in Blue-Red that has Defender, but then if you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it can attack this turn. So I think that's probably a pretty high card on my list. I mean, I have a lot of cards I'm not super thrilled to run. I might even just have to run like this Blood Age General as a, 2/2 for 2 in my deck if I don't get there. Because, like, I don't want to run this. I think all of my 3-drops are good. The issue is there's too many of them right now, but we'll find out. We still have a whole nother pack to go, so I'm not hating what position we've put ourselves in. But yeah, Rutha is just so good. Okay. Some last few irrelevant pickups. And what's the best card we can open? Could be Mizzix's Mastery, honestly. Card is great. That's one of those Mystical Archive cards. if you don't remember what Mizzix's Mastery does, is 8 mana, you can cast every instant and sorcery in your graveyard for free. Okay. Well, we opened a really good rare, but unfortunately neither side we can play. The Shale and the Embrose. Fantastic card, but we'll just pass it along. For us, we have, what, a Serpentine Curve doesn't look too bad. Wormhole Serpent is okay. Illustrious Historian's a fine 2-drop. I think I'm going to go with the Curve here. Seems to fit our deck style pretty well. This is 4 mana, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal. Put X counters on it, X1/1 counters on it, where X is the number of instants and sorceries in your graveyard, and exile +1. So, given our deck is a largely instants and sorceries, I think that's a good pickup here for me. Yikes. Wow, not a great pack. We do have a Vortex Runner, which is a fine creature, but not something I'm looking to second pick here. Best cards in this pack are what? Witherbloom Apprentice, very, very solid. Rise of Exodus, great removal spell that also lets you learn. Helix is fine. Mage's Duel is fine, but I guess I'm just taking a runner here. Okay, there we go. We got some decent stuff. Flame Scroll Celebrant is a 2 mana 2/1 that can pump. And whenever an opponent activates an ability that isn't a mana ability, it deals 1 damage to them. Also have one of the better red-blue lessons. This is the Elemental Summoning. You can just play this in your deck if you don't have any lessons. Obviously, it's better to be able to tutor for it, but this is just 5 mana, make a 4/4 token. And right now, let's see, I have Dispute, Pop Quiz, Igneous Inspiration. That is 3 different learn cards, and I have a Fractal Summoning, so just 1 in my sideboard. I mean, this is good, but I feel like I kind of need to take the 2-drop, as awkward as that is. I'm not even huge on this card, but I just think it might be a necessary pick. And, okay, a little bit of redemption here as I'll take the Summoning now. Passing another Pledge Mage, some other on-color, but not necessarily exciting cards. Pigment Storm, we'll go ahead and take that. 5 damage, 5 mana to a creature. Another Elemental Summoning here, but that seems fine. Yeah, another Pigment Storm if we want to. We're at 23 cards right now. Arcane Subtraction is another pretty good combat trick. Target creature gets -4, -0, and then you get to learn. There's another Tome Shredder here. Could also take Introduction to Prophecy as another decent lesson to tutor for, since it's never bad to have multiples. But I mean, I have 2 elementals, or rather 2 summoning cards in the board, so it's not like I need it. I wonder if it's even better just to take the Tome Shredder, but I'm going to go ahead and take another Pigment Storm, I think. Can't really go wrong with more removal. Okay, well, a 3rd Pigment Storm I don't think I'm going to take. We'll take another Aerialist here. Looks like my game plan is just going to be to win with, like, flyers and killing all of their creatures, so this seems fine. Question is, what am I cutting? I mean, this is probably not the Symmetry Sage version of this deck. We're not super aggro. What does this Mastery card do? This is the, one of the Mastery cards that each color has. This one's really bad. Search your library for up to 3 cards, put them in your hand, shuffle, then discard 3 cards. No thanks. Looks like we got another lesson here, so that seems fine. Whirlwind Denial on the wheel. I like the card because it can stop all of the triggers that are often in the format, as well as countering something, but I don't think we're going to end up playing that. Probably not going to play the 2/2 for 2 since we already have a few of those in our board, right? Yeah. I don't know. The deck looks completely reasonable to me, but I don't know if this is a good deck. Yeah, maybe. There's no way this is correct. that the disputes are coming around this late. Huh. Is it even good in my deck, though? Maybe not. Maybe I just want another 2-drop. This can't... I think this card is just way underrated right now, but... I guess I'd rather have this Historian. Oddly. And last few pickups. Okay. Well, I think the deck is decent. I have some really good removal, if nothing else. We have 2 Pigment Storms, 2 Debates. This only hits what players, though? Yeah, 2 Debates. Dispute is kind of removal. And we'll see how this shakes up. All right, I ended up with how many? 1, 2, 3. 3 lessons that we can go get from our sideboard. Need to cut 2 cards here. This is a creature. I don't know how frequently we're going to be casting the 7 mana spells. Wouldn't be surprised if we often cycle for 2. I guess I can cut the Befuddler out of the main and bring it in versus a more aggro deck or a deck with smaller creatures. I probably don't need the Curate, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it's 12 instants and sorceries still. All right. Not the most exciting blue-red deck I've ever seen. Oh, and you know what? I didn't get any of the Prismari campuses, but seems like we should be able to do the trick here. Let's go 9-8 in favor of red. And see how this very first draft of Strixhaven... Oh, tried to add a forest on me. See how this very first draft of Strixhaven goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Good to go. See you for round 1. Here's round 1 of this Strixhaven draft with our blue-red deck. We have won the die roll, and we are going to keep this hand. Desperately needs to find some lands here, but I don't think I can mulligan a hand that has some solid 3-drops and a good removal spell. So let's cross our fingers that we find some landos. Come on. No, bad. Bad. Really hoping I don't need to cast this next turn. Wait, that doesn't even make sense. Really hoping I don't need to cast that early. Blue-green, okay. And they have a Scurrid Colony. Come on, deck. Give me that land. Ay. And we drew another 3-drop. Well, not ideal if we just get mana screwed, but them's the break sometimes. Okay, no 3-drop for the opponent, though, so at least they're not pressing their advantage too quickly, and did find a land on turn 4 at least, so a little bit behind, but all things considered, it could be worse. As they have a Vortex Runner this turn, and no land for them either. Okay, so both players missing on lands a bit. I think we're going to go ahead and just pop quiz here and look for land. We drew a 2-drop. Not very ideal. So remember, you don't have to take one of the sideboard cards when you're learning. Instead, you can do the rummage, which is what I'm going to be doing here. And I think I'm going to get some value and maybe discard my Illustrious Historian. because we can just rebuy that from the graveyard as a 3/2 token later. So conveniently, we did also find a land there. As the opponent plays another 3-drop. This is the 3/2 that gains 2 life when it enters. Not very exciting. Hopefully we just draw a land for the Aguiar. Fantastic. And now we can start deploying, hopefully, multiple cards a turn. Like next turn I can maybe play out the Planeswalker and start pressing the advantage there. If the opponent attacks, I would just not block. But it looks like they're not even going to attack, so we get a nice little scry in. Quandrix Pledge Mage. That is a good one. But I think we're going to bottom and just look for lands. We have so much action already that the only pressing issue is the number of lands I have. So let's do that. And I guess we're going to run out the Tome Shredder and pass. Hold open Heated Debate, hold open activation of Tome Shredder, hold open Scry. But because now that we've drawn lands in good succession and the opponent's still bricking, I don't feel like I'm in a need to rush anything out. Now, we do know they have a bunch of spells in their hand, yes. So it's not like I can sit back forever, but there's not currently a huge rush right now. But this is the turn I'm going to start popping off, I think. Make that a 3/3 scry. Do we want to keep a flyer on top? No, let's bottom that. I'm going to go ahead and probably just Heated Debate here. I think I'm going to blow up their 3/2 as that's the only relevant creature that does anything right now. It's a pretty good draw. And then I think this is a good turn to just row in. Or will, rather. Will draw 2 cards. Remember, for curve, it's all cards that are in your graveyard and exile that are instants and sorceries, so it's not like exiling my instants and sorceries is bad here. Could also just draw 3 cards with Mastery. But it seems like getting the Planeswalker online is pretty good. I guess it's probably safer to make one of their creatures smaller this turn. And then start attacking next turn after drawing a bunch of cards, because presumably I'm going to find a 7th land, make 2 4/4s, and then they're going to be so far behind it doesn't even matter, right? Another Servant, yeah, sure, doesn't matter. Alright, let's scry. Yeah, keep a burn spell on top. Oh, you know what? I forgot. This also reduces the cost of instants and sorceries, so I don't even need to find a land here. But we are going to go ahead and draw 2 cards. Actually, kind of want to start attacking now. How do I lose this game? That's the question. I guess if I just sit back and durdle too long, I can lose this game, but next turn I can start attacking, no problem. Because the Vortex Runner is going to become unblockable. I'm going to have a bunch of huge creatures. We can blow up some of their creatures. Like, opponent's just getting very, very unlucky here on their mana. Ah, Snakeskin Veil, and then... Oh, okay. That's just so they don't have to discard a card. I was going to say, do they have the fight card? But they just don't want to have to discard here. All right, keep the flyer now. Let's make their... Remember, with the 1/1 counter on it, the Vortex Runner would turn into a 1/3, so let's make their 3/2 an 0/2, and then I'll just kill the runner itself. Oh, maybe not. Decisive denial. Okay, so they're going to fight here. Kills my 3/3 unblockable, but that also means they're going to take 4 pigment damage. And now we can smash in. And we're just going to kill him in like 2 turns here. Sure. How big is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just a 4/4. So I guess we'll play a 3/1 flyer instead. I mean, not much of a game. It looked bad for me at the beginning because I missed some lands, but then I drew out of it, and then they missed even more lands, so... Looks like we actually do want to bring in Campus Guide versus them. It just trades with a lot of their random 2-drops and 3-drops, and it can find me a very relevant land. It did not look like a good game for Mastery. But... yeah, maybe I can even cut like strategic planning here too. I can cut the planning. The Befuddler's okay too. It's going to just often trade and not let me do some blowout crazy shenanigans. But if we go to a game 3, maybe I consider bringing it in. This hand's pretty good. Once again, need to find some lands, but if the opponent plays any creature, then I can cast the Dispute and just rummage a land away, should that be, or rather a card away for an attempted land. But really, we just want to find a second blue source for this Pledge Mage now. Perfect. Alright, here come the infinite 3-drops. Vortex Runner's the start. Let's play the Pledge Mage and hope they don't have one of their fight effects. Professor of Zoomancy, nice. Okay. Yeah, so let's just get big. Let's go ahead and Igneous Inspiration the Professor. Kill it. Make our Pledge Mage bigger. Let's go ahead and grab the Elemental Summoning here. And then I'm going to go ahead and make the Pest block this turn as well. And grab my Fractal Summoning. So you can see how powerful Learn is there. Like, especially this card that we first picked. It killed a 4/3 and it got me a 5-mana 4/4, so pretty darn good. Quandrix Cultivator, 3/4 for 4, and they get to get an island or a forest and put it on the battlefield, notably untapped. Okay, they're still attacking. I'm okay with this. If we want to try to race, let's play out the summoning that we tutored for last turn. And I'm definitely going to smash in for 5 here. There are a ton of combat tricks in this format, though, so often it's hard to play around any individual combat trick. You kind of have to play around combat tricks on a wider spectrum. As they have a Cogwork Archivist here. Another Pigment Storm for us, very good. Yeah, oh, not that. Let's go ahead and Pigment Storm the 4/5. Hopefully they don't have their Snakeskin Veil. They do. Darn it. Well, that's a lot worse for me now. Okay, their Vortex Runner gets unblockable, and they can make their Quandrix Cultivator unblockable. Oh, or they have the Leyline Invocation, make an 8/8. I'll make a creature based on the number of lands, rather. So, we're in kind of a pickle. I guess I kind of have to kill the unblockable 3/3 here. And then next turn, if they attack with their 8/8, I have to double block it. Sure, it's a 9/9 now. Okay. The issue is this access tunnel. So I can't even let them get in for just a little bit of damage here and there, you know? Oh, they're not blocking yet, though. Or rather, attacking yet. Serpentine Curve makes a 5/5. Could also make a 6/6. So let's discard one of our elemental masterpieces to put an extra card in the graveyard, extra instant sorcery in the graveyard, and then make a 7/7 fractal. And that's going to give us the necessary mana now for our other masterpiece. Because they're going to keep bashing me here. But, ooh, does that do it? No. That's too much mana. So I have to go ahead and just cast the masterpiece here and then start bashing in because they have me on a 3-turn clock currently. So first off, I need to trade away with their 9/9. And then I need to start smashing through their other creatures. Okay. It's going to be a tight race, but they're definitely ahead. Alright. They should have been using this on me. Yeah, unblockable. I'm at 4. We need to find a heated debate to kill that after they give it unblockable. That ain't gonna do it. What happens if I attack with everything? Block, block. Oh, it's gonna be close. Alright, I need to top deck something here. I think Heated Debate wins. Yeah, if I draw Heated Debate, we have exactly lethal. Right? Or just any way to bounce their 2/2 or something. I mean, they have one card in their hand, but I can't play around anything right now. Does that work? No. They can just go block, block, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait. Maybe that does work. Four, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 14 damage right here if they have nothing. And I don't really have a choice, so gotta do it. Hope they don't have anything. They can block a 7, they can block a 4, but that's exactly 14 damage if I did my math right. Okay. Wow. That's funny. But hey, I'll take it. Let's go to the next round. Okay, here's round number 2 of this Strixhaven draft. We're on the draw with, I mean, it doesn't look like heavy hitters, but it's a fine hand after all. Opponent leading on this Silver Quill, that's the black-white. Black-white has a lot of sweet synergies in this format. What are they known for? Like +1/+1 counters, I guess. They have some really annoying creatures for sure. Double campus. Good fixing there from the opponents. Let's go turn 2 Historian. Turn 3 I can cycle a Elemental Masterpiece to make me, or to allow me to cast a turn 4 Magyar Battleseer. It's not too bad. Silverquill Pledge Mage. Yeah, I'm going to force their creature to block here. And go ahead and grab a 4/4 for 5. So this Pledge Mage, it can gain flying or lifelink if you cast an instant or sorcery. So pretty annoying one, especially if they cast multiple spells in a turn, then it becomes a flying lifelinker as the opponent plays a 3rd campus. Wow. Let's go ahead and pitch our masterpiece so we can cast a 5 mana spell next turn. And let's just go ahead and lead on the elemental since our Battleseer has haste and we don't need to scry currently. Arrogant Poet. 2 mana, 2/1. When it attacks, you can give it flying by paying 2 life. They could have an Expel here. In fact, it seems reasonably likely that they do. But let's go ahead and just play out our 3/4 haste and bash with both. See what happens. Nothing? Oh, okay, well. That works out. Expel is a 3 mana instant, white and 2 colorless, exile target tapped creature. But clearly they don't have that. I mean, with 5 mana last turn, their best play was a 2/1, so I thought it was pretty likely they might have had a removal spell there, but I mean, maybe they're just flooding out really badly. These campuses are so great, though. Always want to pick up 1 if possible, even if I'm not playing both colors. Like, say I just had like the blue-green campus. It's just a land that has so much value later on in the game, and it's not too much of a downside, right, to be running 1 land or something that enters tapped. In multiples, they get kind of sketchy, especially if you're just in 2 color. I can see why they would want to run that many, but it can really hurt your curve. Okay, they played a 2-drop with 5 mana, a 3-drop with 6 mana. Feeling pretty good about our position here. I'm going to go for a Pigment Storm on the promising Dusk Mage. It's more damage to kill the Poet, but the Dusk Mage is a little bit scarier, right? I'd rather kill a 2/3 than a 2/1. Oh, they do have something here. They're blocking my 3 instead of my 4 power. Lash of Malice. All right, so they had a +2/-2 effect in their hand. But unfortunately for them, didn't kill any of my larger creatures. All right, I mean, looks like the opponent's just getting pretty unlucky. They're going to scry, that's fine. There are some wrath effects in this format in black-white that you have to be wary of. They bottomed, okay. It's either Day of Judgment or Day of Judgment or Wrath of God as an archive. And then there's an 8 mana DFC that you can play as a creature, or as a 3 mana 2/3, or as an 8 mana Dune Blast, if you remember that card. It's like black, 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 and 5, and then you get to choose 1 creature, and all the rest are destroyed, so it's a really powerful card. Versus black-white. Looks like they just flooded pretty badly there, but I think the Befuddler's probably going to be something that we want to bring in. What am I cutting? Maybe I just make that change permanently before I go to round 3. Cut the strategic planning and just bring in the Befuddler or the Campus Guide. In fact, maybe even the Campus Guide's a little bit better. I suppose my deck always wants to make its land drops, you know? Like, we want to get to 7. This one always wants 5+, stuff like that, so go to game 2. Game 2 of this second round. We are on the draw with a, again, lackluster hand. But Keepable for sure. Both colors, 4 mana, creature on 3, 2 removal spells. I wonder how many campuses they have. I mean, we know they have at least 3. Turn 2, they have a campus guide. All right. Will they put a land on top? That's the question. They did. All right, so they did want to find some lands. As we drew a Quandrix Pledge Mage, a good one. This card is always so awkward when you're behind, though. Oh, they decided to play their plains instead of their swamp. This card is always so awkward when you're behind, because oftentimes you want to cast a better creature, but you also want to get this down so that you can start doing business, you know? I'm going to go ahead and play out the Vortex Runner this turn instead. It blocks and eats the campus guide, and I wouldn't mind trading it for the 3-1. We have a good sequence here, right? Next turn we can play Pledge Mage. Turn after that we can play Celebrant plus Debate if we want to, or maybe just the Pigment Storm. Exhilarating Elocution. Put 2 counters on target creature you control. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Alright, I'm going to take 8 damage here. That's kind of gross. Well, now I might not have the luxury of playing out my Pledge Mage. I probably just have to pass and Heated Debate. Essence Infusion now, alright. Yeah, let's just kill that before it gets the counters. I'm going to go ahead and take another 4 here. And then we'll just Pigment Storm the Campus Guide and hope that they're out of gas. They only have 1 card left in hand after this, so. Going to 6 is scary, but not the absolute worst. Great draw, another Pigment Storm for a follow-up creature. I'm going to cast this before attacking to make sure that this dies. And if it does, then I'm free to attack. The Celebrant here is actually going to do a little bit of work too. If the opponent starts flooding out, they're going to want to start scrying, and then I believe this deals 1 damage to them if they use the scry ability, right? Yeah. Okay, an Eye Twitch. Very good card, surprisingly. It looks a little bit innocuous here, but that card does work. It's a 1/1 flyer, which is just fine on its own, honestly. I mean, maybe not good, but the fact that when it dies, you get to learn is so nice. Ooh, all right. Last card was Lash of Malice, and it looks like they're going to block. Okay. So, no cards in hand except for whatever they learn for, and it's just going to be a 2/1 flyer. Not too bad for us. Probably need to just kill the flyer with the Pigment Storm. But that will deal 4 damage to them, and we also get a hidden for 5. Nice. 1 card left in hand. Go ahead and pigment it up. They go to 12, then they take 5, they go to 7. And we have quickly turned the corner. But yeah, like I said, the black-white, the silver quill deck is often about just 1/1 counters and whatnot. Oh wait, I can pump this creature. I totally forgot I can pump this creature. They're just dead on board. Wait, did I miss damage at some point? No, I didn't play this until the turn before, right? I totally forgot this had an ability. Silver Quill Command. Ooh, return target creature from your with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and I sack a creature. All right, well, a 2/1 doesn't attack into a 1/1 very well. Nice draw. I mean, I'm not sure what they can have here. They need to find 5 damage somehow. I guess they could have +2/+2 and then +2/-2. That would be 5, but they played a land, so presumably they're just dead. All right, and we have a quick little 2-0 here. Let's see if we can pull off a trophy with this Prismari deck. The third and final round here. Let's play first. And that looks like a pretty fine hand to me. We don't have any native red sources, that is to say mountains, but I do have this elemental masterpiece, so what I might be doing here is just cycling, or rather discarding this to make a token and then playing Rowan on turn 3. Or I can be a professional and draw a land and not need to, and then just run out my creatures instead. Looks like we're on a bit of a mirror match here. Yeah, I'm actually happy to attack in and just play out the Rowan. Start ticking up. If they don't have any pressure on the board, this can do a lot of good work. Oh, they have a negate? Well, maybe that's one reason to have run out my Celebrant. Kind of sucks for me. Vortex Runner now. Let's just play out our Celebrant and pass. You know, it's pretty good versus 2 power creatures, 3 toughness creature. Ooh, a Maelstrom Muse now too. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, let's play it safe and cycle our masterpiece, get the treasure for now. And then I can do one of 2 things here. I can simply just dispute the Maelstrom Muse, or I can Pigment Storm it. Right? Because I could dispute and then pump up my Celebrant. I guess that's probably a better play. Let's grab the Elemental Summoning. They might be thinking about double blocking to play around like Arcane Subtraction. Yeah. Oh, that negate, though, on my Planeswalker feels real bad. No blocks. As they play another Maelstrom Muse, all right. Oh, I forgot to cut the strategic planning. I think we just need to kill the Muse. As much as it sucks. I forgot to show you what this all does, but it's a 2/4 for 4 with flying. Whenever it attacks, the next instant or sorcery you cast costs X less, where X is its power as it resolves. So, especially when they're in blue-red, allowing them to potentially cast any of those big beaters seems really bad. Did not find a land there. I'm going to strategic plan for a land then. Goodbye, my own negate. We get to play out our Vortex Runner, and I'm just going to go for a double block on their Dust Speaker. 3/4 for 5. Whenever it attacks, they can put an instant or sorcery from their graveyard on the bottom of their library, and then exile the top 2 cards of their library and cast them this turn. Ooh, okay, so there's their green splash. But it looks like they're going to go a little bit more defensive here, which means I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive and play the Aerialist and try to just start beating in the air. This Tome Shredder, though, now that they've exiled their instant or sorcery, they don't get to attack with the Dust Speaker and activate it, so. My only hope this game is to hit them a few times with the Aerialist and then maybe get the Vortex Runner online if I can draw 2 more lands. Just get them with a bunch of unblockable or evasive creatures. So take out the strategic planning, just bring in the campus guide as usual. All right. Well, they don't have an instant or a sorcery to exile. I kind of want to just get the clean block off here, because my 2/3 just bounces off of this, so it's not like a huge blowout. Okay, that's fine by me. Like, I'm making a 4/4 next turn. Eureka. Post-combat draw. So maybe they just wanted that to happen. I don't know. What happens if I attack with both here? They kill that. They hit me for 7. I think this is my only way to win the game, though, attacking with both, because if I try to play a longer game, they just beat me with the card advantage from the Zimone. Ooh, either Helix, bounce my token, and get back a Maelstrom use is brutal. Yikes. Also, they're running a lot more force than I would have initially thought. Oh man, that's close to an insane draw, actually. Can I win if I don't attack and play the Shredder? I guess I have to play the Shredder out and hope to draw something here. Right, I mean, on the surface, this isn't a great attack, but I guess they can resolve the Helix and see if they hit something. Oh, they hit a shock? Damn it. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, I can't beat the shock. I just need them to mess up somehow, but there's no way they can do that, right? Oh, I guess there is. I guess they already messed up by not casting the shock before I went to blocks, actually. So, yeah, they let me block. Okay. I don't want any damage onto my Vortex Runner. So I don't take any damage this turn, but they get to play a 2/4 flyer after combat. Oh, maybe they're just going to draw cards? Ooh. Now hold up. They didn't cast anything. So if they're just going for the card advantage, I might be able to pull back into this, because now my Vortex Runner's a 3/3. So I can trade away with their Tome Shredder. I mean, they have 7 cards in their hand again, but maybe there's a small chance. That doesn't kill me. I guess they could get Annihilation. Wait, what? Oh, sure. Just a troll. Okay. GG. So it might have come down to that turn where I double blocked and instead killed a 2/3. I mean, that 2/3 would have been unblockable later, so I don't know if that was a huge deal. This doesn't really feel like a game where I'm going to want to... I think I'd rather just bring in the campus guide. All right, let's go to GG next. Play first. Oh, I'm going to keep this. It's risky, but they're not a super fast deck. So hopefully I can just find a few early cards to play instead of some lands here. So they have Zimone turn 1. All right. Slamming my Planeswalker. This allows me to cast Pigment Storm next turn, so that's kind of nice. Quandrix Apprentice, but they're missing lands. All right. Deal 3 to them. If they're missing lands, I'm going to go ahead and just kill their Apprentice, because that's the biggest issue card right now. This doesn't really matter until they get to 4 lands. Oh, nice. Another Pigment Storm. Yeah, let's keep pinging for 1. They can't negate this. We'll go ahead and attack and just apply the pressure, though. If they had 3 mana open, I wouldn't attack, because there's Bury-in books. But while they're missing land drops, this seems like a fantastic line from me. Especially if they're just going to continue to try to race for some reason. Well, not race, but you know what I mean. I guess they have no other play, so... Play around the gate again. All right. That hand panned out. Can we win? Game 3. Final round. Opponent is on 3 color. I'm on 2 color. They'll be on the play this game, presumably. Give us a good hand. Ugh, is this a good hand? I don't think so. We got to go down to 6 with that one. That's much better. And we'll keep that, and we will pitch an island here. If I need to, I can go Campus Guide for a land again, but it seems better just to keep a 2-drop than a 4th land in opening hand. Okay. Island start from the opponent. Let's lead with Historian here, and if I don't draw a land next turn. Ooh, wow. I see. So they kept a 2-lander with the subtraction plus the environmental sciences, hoping that I would play a creature, which I did. Go ahead and Campus Guide now, an island on the top. Make sure we hit our 4th land. Might be able to just pressure them a little bit too much, though. If they don't get on the board quickly, or don't have too much to play here, and I just heated debate like their first play. Well, that one I'm not going to debate, because I would not mind trading with it. So we'll just play out our 4-drop here instead. Attacking, yes, I'm not blocking. Quandrix, Apprentice, and pass. Okay, I'm going to just attack. No blocks. Okay, I'm going to pass again. I don't need the heated debate, I don't think. 4 cards in their hand. We know they have a shock in their deck. We also know they have a negate, which could be what they're holding up, but they can't negate my heated dispute. Don't mind taking 2 here. All right, I'm going to debate the Zimone end of turn then. And if they just draw in response and hold up negate, they're going to be taking 7 damage. Oh, electrolyze in response. That's disgusting. Yikes. Yeah, electrolyze is pretty good versus all my 1 toughness doo-doos. Damn. Brutal. Savage. Wrecked. Okay, let's go ahead and just dispute then. And go grab our 4/4. Try to keep the pressure on. Make sure I have something relevant to do this turn. But, yikes, that was really bad. Brutal. There's another Maelstrom Muse. Okay. I like attacking with both here. Because if they want to trade for the 2/1, or rather, if they want to eat the 2/1, then the Elemental is presumably getting through. I'm pretty sure they're holding on to a negate. Feels very likely. Well, I guess we just fire this off as negate bait. And then if we draw land, we get to Masterpiece. Yep. No surprise at all there. Okay, it's not the worst. Like, if this is blocking, I can just double block the Dust Speaker, I suppose. Start from scratch. Oh, they get to ping my Historian for 1. Sure, okay. So I have to chump here. Oh, and they, well, their Heated Debate doesn't matter. I mean, I guess they might as well cast it just to get in for 3 damage, but that was already a redundant removal spell. You'll notice how this Conjure's Apprentice is just going off. It's thinning out their deck entirely of land. Pigment Storm. Oh man. Yep, I gotta kill the Dust Speaker here if I can. It's just giving them too much value. If I had shot this, I would ping them for 3, but I think it makes more sense to kill the 3/4 that's drawing them effectively 2 cards a turn, you know? Okay, they're using Upkeep Scry. Put a card on top. There's land number 7. All right, let's see what this does. Resolved. Can you beat 2 4/4s? They didn't scry on upkeep, which is concerning. Ah, there's that Helix. There's one way. Getting back their Dust Speaker. Okay. All right, we have a lot of draws that will win the game here, I think. Tome Shredder. Not one of them, but not bad. Need to trade away with the Dust Speaker before they draw something, unfortunately. This costs 5 mana, I believe, from my graveyard, so... If they top, I think I exile in response, because we know they have a shock in their deck. Oh, Jesus. Draw 4, discard 2. They have so few cards left in their deck in comparison. Holy crap. They discarded a couple lands. They played a Tome Shredder of their own. All right, come on. Where's my Pigment Storm? Number 2. Oh. Okay. I assume I'm just drawing cards here, right? Yeah. Drawing 2 seems good. Okay. Man, this is an interesting game. Haven't had a chance to bring back that 3/2 from my graveyard yet. I mean, I'm sure they have their shock by now. But I guess I make them use it. Uh-oh, what is this? Eureka moment. Okay. Yeah, there's basically like no lands in their deck for Quandric Apprentice to hit. So disgusting. I'm assuming we're going to get shocked and just trade 2 for 1. Oh, they're going to fight in response. Okay, hey, that's still fine. That is a 2 for 1. Sure. Do you have a follow-up play? 3/3 unblockable. All right. Pop quiz time. Hey, drew a heated debate. Let's grab a fractal summoning here. 3/4 haste. Go, go. Oh, they're going to 1. Pop quiz, yeah. It's so crazy. They've gone through the entirety of their deck. This game is so close. Oh man, they get to make a huge fractal token, right? How big is this? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, maybe they make it a little bit smaller then. Oh, they just have a billion creatures they can cast out this turn. Yikes. Well then. I need to draw Pigment Storm. Can I win if I don't scry? Kill this. Block. Block. Alright, so I think I just draw naturally instead of scrying. Make a 4/4. Pass. Hope they cannot kill me this turn. And then I draw Pigment Storm next turn, but I don't like my odds. Another Either Helix. Oh my gosh. Yikes. I mean, again, not surprising. The opponent drew 15 more spells than I did, but damn, we were so close. I don't think there was a good opportunity for me to return this Historian from my graveyard, but I'd be willing to bet that might be the cause of the loss here. All right, let's see if I would have hit Pigment. I would have hit a Negate. No big deal. GG's. Fun game there. I mean, opponent just drew so many more cards than I did. There's nothing else to say. We did have some outs. I mean, I wonder if there was a few different lines I could have taken. It was a little bit... Oh, we also had an Igneous Inspiration. Yeah, I had 2 outs, didn't I? You know what we never did? We never really went off with Rutha. We rarely drew her. It's too bad. Oh well, fun match. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this look at Strixhaven. Thanks for watching.